So let's go ahead and get right into it. Here are the tools that we're going to be using for this repair. We're going to have a link down below in the description where you can get them, as well as the screen used for this repair. So to remove and change the screen on the Apple Watch Series 3, all we're going to need is some prying tools and also a hairdryer or a heat gun, so that we can heat up the screen first to loosen up the adhesive to be able to pull it up. So like I said, we're going to use either a hairdryer or a heat gun, and we're going to move it around the edges here, which is where the adhesive is holding it in place, just for about a minute or two until it's hot to the touch. So once it's hot enough, we're going to use the help of a thin solid prying tool like this one. We can use metal to lift it up at first. We're going to wedge it in between the plastic here and the glass screen. Very gently push it up. If your screen is already cracked, you don't have to be as gentle, but we want to make sure that we start off at the top of the iWatch, because the flex cables are going to be located near the bottom. Once the adhesive is loose at the top, we're going to go down the sides as well, very gently and slowly, removing any glass that might break off. And once again, continue going down the side until all of the adhesive that's holding down the glass is removed from the side. Continue going down. Don't stick the prying tool in too much. Just work around the tips, which is where the adhesive is. So once we're done with one side, we're going to go towards the other side and do the same. We're going to go down the entire side, removing the adhesive very carefully from the top to the bottom. Once most of the adhesive is removed from both sides, you can kind of pull up on the screen assembly carefully. It is going to be held down with 3 cables though, so pull it up just gently until you're able to see the 3 cables clearly. And there they are, as you can see them, 3 cables. They each connect to a small connector on the screen assembly itself. So there's going to be a thin black tape which is covering the 3 connectors on the screen and the cables. So we're going to have to remove this black tape with the plastic prying tool. We're going to peel down on the tip of the tape to start getting the edge off so that we can get a grip on it to pull it off. So as you can see, I am pulling down on the tape here with this plastic prying tool. Take your time, don't give it too much pressure so that you don't damage the small connector. After you've pulled it down enough with the plastic prying tool, you can go ahead and grab it with your fingers to give it some pressure downwards and completely remove the black tape from one of the flex cables. Once the tape is removed, we're going to have to get the thin prying tool behind the little black latch to flip it open. Once it's open, we can give it some pressure downwards now on the cable carefully to release it from the flex connector. There we go. So once the black tape is off of the first connector, we're going to go ahead and repeat the same steps with the second and third connector. Let's go ahead and just peel down on it slowly with the plastic prying tool until we're able to peel it off completely from the connector. And then once again with the thin metal prying tool, we're going to flip up the flex flap here and then pull down on the flex cable till it releases. So next up is the third flex cable. Let's go ahead and peel down this black tape once again. So let's go ahead and pull the tape down completely out of the way. Once it's out, let's go ahead and flip over the flex connector flap once again. And then let's go ahead and pull down on the cable here from the side hinges here. Let's go ahead and wedge in there and pull it down gently. And there we go. Now that the old screen is out of the way, we can easily view here the 3 flex cables that we're going to connect now to the new screen. However, before we continue with the installation of the new screen, it is very important to make sure that you clean around the edges of the frame of the Apple Watch and remove any leftover glass that might have stayed on there. We need to clear the area for the new screen to be able to fit in there perfectly. And also make sure that you place the black adhesive tape that goes around the edges of the frame of the Apple Watch, place it back around all the corners so that it can help to glue down the new screen that will be installed. So once the entire frame is clean and ready, let's go ahead and get the new screen that we're going to be installing so that we can connect the 3 flex cables. So here we have the new screen, and first thing we're going to do is position it correctly. So to make it easier for the 3 flex cables to go into each connector. So you can actually, if you hold the Apple Watch up and push the 3 cables down, you can get it at a good angle so that each cable kind of sits at the entrance of each connector. And then all you're going to have to do is with a prying tool, with a little bit of pressure, just slide each one in one by one. So here goes the first one. There you go. So once the flex cable is in all the way in the connector, we're going to go ahead and flip the flap back up. So once again, same thing, we're going to give the flex cable a little bit of pressure inwards to slide it into the connector with the plastic prying tool until it is in all the way. And then let's flip the flap back up to seal the connection. And on to the next and final cable. So let's go ahead and also push it upwards into the flex connector. It's going to have little hinges on the side that you can use to push up on it. And then once again, once it's in all the way, let's go ahead and flip the flap back up to seal the connection. So once the 3 cables are completely connected, you are pretty much done. Just make sure that the adhesive is good around the frame of the bezel, and then you can just push down on the screen assembly here and it will glue back in place. If you see it's not gluing or staying on correctly, you may need to add maybe some super glue or some double-sided adhesive around the frame to glue it down. So give the screen a little bit of pressure downwards to make sure that it seals and closes correctly. So that was how you replace the LCD and glass screen assembly of your Apple Watch Series 3. Hope that video was helpful for everyone. If it was, go ahead and please give it a like. And that's it for now. I will see you guys around in the next one. And as always, peace.